Does it feel like it's like swaying? Or is that just me? Well, I have made it to the Atlas Coal Mine Museum, checking out one of their exhibits that kind of talks about coal mining here in Alberta.
If you guys are looking for a bit of a smoother ride, these front three cars are amazing. If you're an adrenaline junkie, that last car has her name scrawled on the side of it. I'm going to try to make it as smooth as I can. It gets the most action. When you guys are ready to hop on, please use the bumpers on either side. They're the thick chunks of metal that are a bit of a half moon shape. So one foot there, swing the other one over and get nice and cozy. And you're going to want to remain seated while locomotives in motion. I don't want to lose anybody. And to help avoid having an ache in your back after all is said and done, you're going to want to lean forward for the first 3 to 5 seconds of our journey. When I started from stop position. Then afterwards you can lean back, relax, and enjoy the sights. Alright, feel free to hop on. The dangerous frog. Does anybody see the dangerous frog? No? You guys might be having a hard time spotting it because you're probably looking for a frog like Kermit. Maybe dangerous because he has a big old lightsaber or sword. But instead, I'm referring to a frog you find in a horse's hoof. It's a triangular part of the hoof, and it looks eerily similar to where we switch tracks and change directions. And it's called the dangerous frog because this is where we're most likely to derail throughout our entire journey. But don't worry guys, I'm one of 7 licensed motormen here in North America that can drive our lovely little Linda. So fancy, right? So fancy. But it's actually a good portion of the workers here at the Atlas, so a little fancy, but I still wear it as a badge of honor. Now I'm going to just hop on over, switch tracks, and I'll be back for a bit of a story time. I'm commonly referred to as a miner's helmet. And this is exactly the kind of helmet they'd used from 1937 when the site first opened, all the way to 1956. Now the main part of this helmet is made out of baculite, which is kind of like the grandfather of today's plastic. And at the front, you have a calcium carbide lamp. The calcium carbide powder would be put into this bottom canister, and water would be deposited through the top. The water would slowly drip down into the powder, where it would then release a gas that would come out of this front spout, where it would then be set alight. And now you have an open flame deep in a coal mine. Does that sound safe to you?
No.
No, it's very dangerous indeed, because you have methane gas being released from the coal face being broken apart, coal dust being kicked up in the air, and coal surrounding you. You also have big wooden boom beams being used to help support the walls and ceiling and preventing it all from caving in. All very flammable material. And a couple accidents down the road, they caught the memo that maybe this wasn't the greatest idea ever. So they started adding safety precautions. They started with a metal mesh over top of the flame. And then they put glass with some oxygen holes. Then they discovered the glorious light bulb. But unfortunately, this light bulb ran on a lead-based acid, and it destroyed the workers' clothes and left by chemical burns. And that's what they used till this site closed in 1984. But the modern minds of today's world use LED lights, very similar to what we have on our lovely Brakies helmet today, and a lot less likely cause an explosion deep underground.
This is the wash house. So the miners would come in here and change out of their home clothes and change into their work clothes. And they had come in after work and they would come in and take off their work clothes, rinse them out, hang them up where they'd get dry and stay dry. And then they'd have a big old shower to wash off all the coal dust. Wow. And then they would change back into their home clothes. Can you imagine? Whew. This place would have been so dirty. Oh, look at this cool mural. Wow. You're looking too far up. There we go. Look at that cool mural. Huh. Depicting all the miners that worked here. Wow. That is a really cool tribute.
Up at the top of the hill, there's this thing called a head house. I'll point it out, and it basically just dumps all the coal onto this conveyor belt, brings it all the way down here to that big metal screen. That big metal screen there is a shaker screen. The shaker screen's only job right there to sort out the larger size of coal. It was the most valuable size of coal because the only use for the coal here at the Atlas was really heating people's houses. So it's the most valuable size of coal because the larger the coal is, the more it could last in your furnace, and people don't like getting up in the middle of the night and restocking their furnace full of coal. So it's the most valuable, and they don't want to be touched too much, so they immediately sent it out. That one's the only job, sorting out the large size of coal. The other four sizes fall beneath it and go up the rest of that building.
That's unnerving. Just a plexiglass hole.
We did the skywalk between Jasper and Nam.
Does it feel like it's like swaying? Or is that just me?
Alright, so some things about the miners. On this site, there have been around 300 people working here in total. The 175 of them would have been miners working in the mines. All the miners, the old miners would give a little hazing to some of the new miners that came here. We have a story of some hazing from a guy. His name is Victor Evermenko. And his first ever time working in a mine, in his entire life, was here at the Atlas 3. And his first day, we have his story he told us about it. And his first day, he had to go work, and all the other miners were telling him to go get like a bucket of compressed air. They sent him on all these fool's errands. It's like a bucket of compressed air, a left-handed wrench, 2x4 stretcher, 2-meter yardstick, all sorts of things that don't exist. They sent him to one person. That person would say, I don't have it, it's somewhere else. This person has it, the blacksmith has it. You go to the blacksmith, and the blacksmith said, I don't have it, go to talk to someone else. So he did that. They sent him all sorts of errands all throughout the day. The entire day, most of the day he was doing that. Up until about lunchtime, they started being a little nicer to him. That is because they got his eyebrows singed off. So they convinced Victor that he should look into one of the holes that they drilled to stick dynamite in it. There's no dynamite in it yet, fortunately, but there was a lot of coal dust in it, and they really wanted him to look in there. They wanted him to shine his light into this hole. Unfortunately for Victor, he forgot that his lamp would have been an open flame lamp. So the open flame lamp had lit the coal in the tube that they drilled, the hole they drilled, and it kind of exploded. He didn't get injured, other than a little bit of his hair going missing, his eyebrows and stuff like that. But after that, they started being a lot nicer to him. The second half of the day for him was really nice. He just got to start mining. Unfortunately for Victor, though, with all the mining and fool's errands I sent him on, he didn't get much mining done. He didn't get much coal, and he also was really tired by the time he finished all of it. So when he came back into this building up at the top, all the other miners were telling Victor the easiest way to get down this building is to just hop on this conveyor belt and ride it all the way down. So that's what he does. He listens to them because they have been a little nicer to him. So he hops on here, rides it all the way down, and right as he's at the bottom, basically, he realizes that they didn't tell him how to get off. So he goes down to that shaker screen down at the bottom I pointed out to you. That thing shakes 120 times a minute, and he just kind of got deposited onto that. They eventually then left him on there for like 5 minutes. Once they felt like he had enough time on there, they turned it off, pulled him out, and then said, pat him on the back and say, Victor, you're one of us, you're now a miner, and they accepted him. He never got hazed after that. He continued mining for a very long time after that. So for the miners, coal was the only thing they really wanted out of these hills. Unfortunately for them, though, at the time, there's another thing that was in these hills, and those were dinosaur bones. So for the miners, they considered dinosaur bones to be basically useless and considered them garbage, and as such, they tossed them out the hills, onto the side of the hills. They didn't really care about them. Example we have of this is just this big piece of rock we passed by. It is a giant piece of petrified wood. It's about 60 million years old, and it was basically just tossed out the mine because they didn't consider it useful. They just considered it basically garbage. So there's two different types of miners. One miner, contract miners, only got paid for the two larger sizes of coal. So those three sizes I showed you so far, anything like that size, they would never get paid for actually. It have to be the two bigger sizes. The other type of miner got paid hourly per day basically. So the miners up here would have gotten paid around $7-8 a day. Some of the people working in the processing plant would get paid around $3.50 per day. So it really ranged, and that's the different types of miners. I forgot to bring that up earlier. So this is the first size of coal that the contract miners would get paid for. This is called egg coal. It's about the size of an ostrich egg rather than a chicken egg. This is a lump of coal. So you're making something pretty big in your stocking. This is the most valuable size of coal, something like this. It lasts somewhere between 8 hours in your furnace, which meant people really liked it because they wouldn't have to get up in the middle of the night to restock their furnace. Alright, another thing is that I pointed out that dinosaur bones are basically garbage for the miners, but they still did find them. The Albertosaurus was actually the accidental discovery that was because of the coal seam here in Drumheller. So this coal seam was discovered in 1884 by Joseph T. Rell. The same year, in one of these coal seams, somewhere in the valley, he discovered the Albertosaurus the same year. Because the blacksmith was a deduction that was automatically taken off all the miners' paychecks, whether they used the blacksmith or not. Something that's taken off regardless, so they often did use him because they were paying for him anyways. They would have also used the blacksmith to repair their tools because they had to keep nice care of them. It'd be nice because the mining company didn't give them their tools. They had to go out, buy their own tools, keep them nice. So they spent what they had to do themselves.
Within this room is an original house taken down and rebuilt here, and it represents the pride that women took in maintaining their homes back in the day. And check this out. Isn't this like one of the coolest things you've seen in a museum? An actual home taken down and rebuilt. Sorry, the floors are really squeaky here. It's an old schoolhouse, so original floors. Also, check out this Bible. Holy Bible. I mean, Holy Bible. That is one thick piece of work. All right, this is the miners' room. Might be a little bit hard to see. It's quite the museum. Lots of really old documents, pictures, kind of notes about different things. It's a really personal museum, it seems like. They really talk about all the specific people here in East Coulee and the area. And you see all these old pictures. And then look at this mural of the miners. Like, probably drawn with coal. Hey everybody, Tabitha here from Tabitha Explores, wrapping up another RV adventure with you. So in today's video, as you know, we went through the Atlas coal mine, we did the East Coulee School Museum. I would definitely recommend the mine tours. When you go to the mine, you can just go ahead and enter the mine, the museum, sorry, or you can actually book yourself on 3 different tours. They have the tour that takes you to the mine, the train tour, which you saw both of those, and then there's another tour that takes you up into that like big tall building that you see. But I was already dying from the heat while I was there. I wanted to do that 3rd tour, but they're just I just didn't have it in me to climb all the way up there with the heat that we had that day. It was, I think, around 30 degrees, and I tap out at like 25. So it was just not going to happen for me that day, but I think all the tours are well worth it, very knowledgeable, as you heard in the video. So the East Coulee Museum was also very interesting to go to. Yeah, so that was today's video. I really hope you like this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.